Hey up and happy Yorkshire Day. My name is Joshua Daniels and I'm a public historian and filmmaker from South Yorkshire. Yorkshire is England's largest county, with a greater population than Norway and more than 4 times the land area of Luxembourg. It's also home to the largest private house and largest folly in the UK. On the 1st of August every year, England witnesses Yorkshire Day together. However, we must ask ourselves the question, why does Yorkshire get its own celebration? Before the arrival of the Romans, most of where modern Yorkshire is today was divided into 2 areas, occupied by 2 Celtic peoples, the Parisi in the east and the Briganti. When the Romans did settle there in around 71 AD, they built a fort and later a city called Eboracum. After the Romans left Britain in around 410 AD, it became known as Eorthwarwick during the Anglo-Saxon period of Britain. Then, when the Vikings took control of it in 866, they named it Jorvik, which was Norse for Wild Boar Creek. The first mention of it in its modern-day format was in the 1200s, where it was known as York. York was chosen at the heart of Yorkshire for its trade and geographical advantages. From 1298 until 1304, York was also effectively the capital of England. With the vital shipping industry on the Humber estuary, all the way through to the important role that Sheffield played in the Industrial Revolution, it's undoubtable that Yorkshire played a huge and varied part in the development of the country. Owing to its huge size, Yorkshire was divided into 3 smaller administrative sections called thridings in the 9th century. Thridings was the Danish word for third, and later on became known as the Ridings of Yorkshire. Under the Local Government Act of 1888, county councils were established, with the county of York, West Riding, becoming an administrative county, with its area based mostly in the historic borders of the West Riding. Then, in 1972, another Local Government Act reorganised counties in the UK, as a lot of the shapes of the counties were based on the lines drawn during the early Middle Ages, which did not account for the urban and industrial development further on. As such, when the Act came into effect in 1974, Yorkshire was reshaped into North, South, West Yorkshire, and Humberside. After 1,000 years, Yorkshire had lost its ridings. This strong attachment to the ridings and the historical identity lost with it angered a lot of those from Yorkshire. In response, on the 1st of August 1975, the Yorkshire Riding Society held the first Yorkshire Day to celebrate and preserve their riding heritage, as they saw the reforms as a threat to their identity and a potential erasure of their history. But why the 1st of August? This date was chosen specifically for its significance in the Battle of Minden during the 7 Years' War. On the 1st of August 1759, an Anglo-German army defeated a French army in Minden, which is in North Rhine-Westphalia, a Western German state. At the time, it was capital of the Prussian area Minden-Ravensburg. Fighting in this battle was the 51st Regiment of Foot, comprising Yorkshire soldiers and the predecessor to the King's Own Yorkshire Light Infantry. Owing to this heavy Yorkshire presence, August 1st was chosen as it was seen as the day Yorkshire helped beat French. The story goes that the 51st Regiment also picked white roses from gardens there and placed them in their hats. The white rose has been connected to Yorkshire when it was adopted by Edmund Langley, the first Duke of York, in the 14th century, with white purportedly being used for its religious connotations of purity. It was also one of the symbols used by the House of York during the War of the Roses. The Yorkshire rose, with this white rose on the blue background, was designed in the 1960s, adopted in 1975, and registered in 2008. In 1995, in an edition of Country Life, Nigel Farndale was the first to call Yorkshire God's own country, a phrase which has stuck with the county ever since. Yorkshire Day, which initially started as a protest movement against local government reform, as an effort to preserve the heritage of the county, now stands as a celebration of Yorkshire's history. It also acts as a way for people across Yorkshire, and indeed England, to celebrate what makes Yorkshire the wonderful county that it is today, from the industry, to the nature, to the people, to the history.